everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Noemi, and today's video is going to be my November TBR. And if you've been here for a little bit, you know that we choose our TBRs using my TBR jar right here, and we just leave it up to fate, and that gives me a selection of books to pick out from during the month. So I'm going to pick out 5 books out of this jar, and we're going to talk a little bit about them, see what they're about. And also, disclaimer, I might actually just not read at all the books that I pick out. I just like to have the challenge, and it's just exciting to pick out books from this. So I do try my best to read a couple of them. But yeah, let's just get started because this video is my favorite to film, and I'm so excited to get started and see what this TBR is going to look like. So I'm gonna do this off camera, but I do need to empty this into my TBR cart because like I can't go further than the top ones. So just to be fair, I'm gonna dump them all in the cart. So for this TBR, I'm hoping for some cute romances. I'm always hoping for those ones. I didn't have any on my last TBR, so I'm hoping for some romances in this one, but also like Christmassy ones. I'm getting in the mood. It's November 1st as I'm filming this, so like bring on Christmas. I love it. But also like some fantasy maybe. I read one fantasy in October and I liked it. I didn't love it, but like it made me want to read more fantasy, so maybe a fantasy book would be nice. But yeah, let's pick out our first book. And our first book is Bone Crier's Moon. Here's the book. If you've been on TikTok at all for the last like 2 years, this book is on there a lot, and it's the reason why I got a copy for myself, but I really don't know what this is about. I just know that people really like the first book, but reason why I haven't read it yet is because I've heard some people say that the second book isn't all that good. So, you know, I'm afraid to like love this and get excited for the second book and then like just be disappointed. But you know, I can really just know for myself if I'm gonna like it by reading it. So this is on the TBR for November. Now let's try to see what this is about because I really have no clue. All right, there's a underworld and like sacrifice and gods. Our main character, Elise, has been prepared since birth to become the matriarch of the Bone Criers, but first she must complete her rite of passage and kill the boy she's also destined to love. So that sounds pretty intriguing to me, and I'm actually wanting to read more like YA fantasy because there's just so many that apparently are amazing, and I just focus on adult romances, so I'm glad to add this one to my TBR. It's like fall fantasy time, so I'm excited. All right, our second book. Did I mention that I'm picking out 5? Because I'm picking out 5. That's usually the average that I read in a month, so I think it makes sense to pick out 5. But let's move on to book 2. We have another YA fantasy, so it is All the Stars and Teeth, which I'm also excited about. I have the UK cover, and I probably mentioned that in a lot of videos, but I usually prefer the UK covers, and this is no exception. Look how pretty this is. Amazing. I also found out about this book on TikTok, and I think this is about like parrots under the sea type of fantasy, and I'm excited. We got like mermaid tail there, I think. There's like an octopus. I never actually looked too much at the cover, so I'm even more interested now. The author of Children of Blood and Bone said that this is a fierce and unrelenting book. Do yourself a favor and get lost in this beautiful book. So that's convincing to me. And yes, there's a pirate who has lost his powers, magical powers. There's a new kind of magic that is very destructive, and Amora, our main character, I think is going to conquer it or try to. I don't know. If you know me, you know that I don't love knowing everything about a book before I start it, so I think I'm just gonna leave it at this. But yes, I'm in love with this cover. Might annotate this because I don't think I've ever annotated a fantasy book, so it might be interesting to do it with this one. And I also have the second book in the series, so if I love this one, I have the other one to just jump right in. Okay, let's move on to our third book. Now we already have 2 fantasies, and I need this TBR jar to give me some romances because I just know what, like, if there's a romance on this, I will most likely read it. So which is Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. It is a romance, not necessarily the romance I was hoping for, but still. This book has already been on one of my TBRs, and I haven't read it yet, obviously, because it's in this one now. But I know some of my close bookish friends, they've read it and they've really liked it, so I'm excited to also read it. And the tagline is, would you rather know a truth that makes you feel hopeless or keep believing the lies? Interesting. This is the spellbinding story of two young people with devastating pasts who embark on a passionate, intriguing journey to discover the lessons of life, love, trust, and above all, the healing power that only truth can bring. Will this be the month where I finally read Hopeless by Colleen Hoover? There's only one way to find out, and that is to wait for my November wrap-up. But regardless, I'm excited for this. I've been thinking about reading another Colleen Hoover book soon, so is this a sign that I should read this one? Maybe. I'll take it as a sign. Okay, picking out book 4 already. Jay's Gay Agenda. That is a YA romance LGBT book. So I got this a while ago, like 2 summers ago, or I think it was like recently out. And I've been wanting to read it, but I just, like I said, I always focus on adult romance and a lot less on YA romance. So that's just why I haven't picked it up, but my TBR has chosen it. So we will see if I read it. It is looking very promising. A lot of people that I know really like it, and also a lot of like amazing authors wrote little blurbs at the back, so that's promising. And I believe this is Jason June's debut novel, so I love that. I love when books are debuts. So it's about this guy Jay. He moves and he starts his senior year at a new high school with thriving LGBTQIA+ community, and he finally feels for the first time ever that he's found where he truly belongs. And he's got like a list of things to do regarding like his sexuality, and he like crosses off stuff of that. So it says, but as Jay begins crossing items off his list, he'll soon be torn between his heart and his hormones, his old friends and his new ones. Because after all, life and love don't always go according to plan. I'm intrigued. We will see if I like it when I read it. I'm in my paperback phase. So like right now I'm wishing I got this in paperback, but I got it when I was in my hardcover phase. I'm just thinking out loud right now. This is book 4 on the TBR. Honestly, like I'm really excited about this book. It's been a while since I've read a good LGBT YA book. I can't even tell you what the last one was. I can't remember. So I'm really pumped and excited that this ended up. Okay, my phone ran out of space to film, so I had to go and like clear out storage and stuff. But anyways, I don't know if I was done talking about Jay's Gay Agenda, but like overall I'm excited and I'm hoping to read it. Let's move on into the 5th book, which is the last book. Oh my god, okay. Another Colleen Hoover book. But I did hear that one that I picked out is pretty good too. So we have Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I cannot even remember when I got this, so it must have been a while ago. Oh, this is written smaller than her usual books. Interesting. Anyways, the tagline for that one is, how do you pick up the pieces without the glue holding everything together? And I think this one is classified as a romance too, like not a fiction like It Ends With Us, but I think this is romance too. I could be wrong though, so don't quote me on it, but we'll find out when we read it. All right, we have Morgan and her 16-year-old daughter Clara would like nothing more than to be nothing alike. Morgan is determined to prevent her daughter from making the same mistakes she did by getting pregnant and married way too young. And Morgan had to put her own dreams on hold. Clara doesn't want to follow in her mother's footsteps. And the mother and the daughter find it actually difficult to coexist. And the one person that really brings peace to the household is Chris, Morgan's husband, aka Clara's father, and he's like seen as the family anchor. Oh, and of course that Chris guy is involved in a tragic and questionable accident. I am intrigued. I will read this when I want to have my heart broken. The last book I'm going to talk about for this video is actually the Tabby's book club pick. So that book I'm so excited about. Probably the one I'm most excited for the month. I cannot wait to get started. That is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. And just the covers. The covers of these books are so cute. I believe this is like a Christmas related book. I think by the cover you can kind of tell it's for Christmas. But yeah, so we're gonna be annotating this book together and talking about it, and it's gonna be so fun, and I'm excited for this one. So here are the books that my TBR picked out for me to read this month. I'm pretty excited about the books that it picked out. Let me know if you've read any of these. I would love to know if you like them or not, especially those Colleen Hoover ones, because I know a lot of people can have a lot of different opinions about her books. Just keep it spoiler free so that nobody gets spoiled. I have links down below that you can all go check out. There's my Instagram, my TikTok, my Etsy shop, and I also have a few discount codes down there that you might want to check out. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, comment down this emoji so I know that you've made it this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!